Welcome back to CJ Sports. It is April 29th, NFL Draft Day. We're coming at you recording this. You're probably listening to it on Friday. But this is our post-draft kind of response. And I'm telling you, the room is feeling a little flattened. Like you let the air out of a balloon.
Just a little bit, yeah. You could. That's a good, polite way to say it, I guess.
I will say, through the first 10 picks, there was no huge surprises or things that just were really like, what's going on? Like,
Well,
maybe it wasn't exactly what I expected.
Right. But it all made sense.
Yeah. I mean, Trey going number 3, a little bit of a shock. Not where I saw San Francisco going, but overall, all made sense.
Oh, for sure.
For me, I think it first got interesting with good old Chicago Bears moving up and getting Justin Fields. I'm not really sure they needed to move up to do that.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think that of all the teams tonight, the Chicago Bears put themselves in a great position to be probably the most improved team, especially in the NFC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a fair point because they were move on from Mitchell Trubisky and still have Nick Foles, but Nick Foles is probably not going to be your starting guy. He could maybe carry a team through one more season. See if he's got any of that Foles. It's Fitz magic. I don't know what Foles' special phrase is, but he's still got a little bit of magic left in him probably.
Playoff Nick.
Yeah, there you go, playoff Nick. But I don't know if playoff Nick still has just enough in the tank for a full season. So I think it'll be for sure someone that can definitely lead that younger guy like Fields, and it'll be a good experience for him just to learn under a quarterback that's been around the league, been there, done that.
Yeah, it is a little interesting though that Andy Dalton's there. So now you got Justin Fields, Andy Dalton, and Nick Foles. And I'm reminded my TV's showing me all the clips of Rodgers once out. So I guess we'll just transition into what our teams did tonight.
Right.
Your team picked first, though, so I'll let you go.
Yeah, so you said there was no surprises in the top 10 picks. I was going to say there's a small caveat to that. Dallas trading from 10 to 12. We were on a FaceTime on a Zoom call with some buddies, and like all of us just went, "What? Like why?" And so it didn't make any sense. Like my buddy that's an Eagles fan called me and said, "Oh well, I think it was okay because the guy they ended up taking, the Giants were rumored to take as well." And I was like, I don't think it would have mattered. Honestly, either way, I think both teams got their guy with Philadelphia and the Giants. But with the Cowboys, I talked about how they needed a defensive secondary guy, and instead they went and got a linebacker.
Is there a chance with those two cornerbacks going right before them? I mean, literally picks 8 and 9, that room panicked and accepted the trade because they didn't know what to do?
It is 100% possible because both Jace Horn and Patrick Surtain, however you say his last name, I forget, were both rumored to be like the two guys of whichever one was available, they were going to pick. And yeah, like you said, going 8 and 9 like that, I'm sure kind of sent the room in a little bit of a shock because even we were watching ESPN and they went to the room. And it was empty. Yeah. Literally no one was at the table on the phones, nothing, except for Jerry Jones' daughter, which I forget her name. But she was the only person there. She was just like kind of laughing. And I'm like, what is happening that you're sitting laughing and literally everyone else is just gone? Is everyone else just panicking right now? And
I mean, possibly.
Yeah, and it could turn out to be a good pick. Like we only had several really the only guys there are Jalen Smith and Leighton Vander Esch. Several, Sean Lee retired, and then you got two guys that were done with their contracts, two older guys, but still you would think they'd bring one back, but there's nothing officially done so far. And so I guess they felt like they needed to secure a good backup at least if Smith or Vander Esch goes down again, because he's had neck issues and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't love the pick, but
yeah, it's one of those that they could have done better, but whatever.
right. But yeah, pretty much.
So kind of deflating.
A little bit. Speaking of deflating.
Speaking of deflating, Tom Brady, he's famous for that. Oh, was that not the transition we were making? Deflating was the 29th pick tonight, I guess.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you go into the day. I'm at work today, and I get the update that Aaron Rodgers is frustrated and doesn't want to return. And, boy, was I expecting pandemonium tonight of just something crazy to happen, like, a haul from the San Francisco 49ers and us to be with Jimmy G and Jordan Love as our, quarterbacks next year. That didn't happen. Nothing really happened. We stayed put, which is what we should have done last year. We stayed put, and we drafted a cornerback that when he popped up, didn't know who he was. The guy I said, Barrymore, he was still on the board, could have taken him. There was other cornerbacks better than him, like another guy at his own team he came from, that would have been a more immediate impact player. But you draft a player that all of the scouting reports make it seem like he's at least a full season project before he's a starter. So it'd be a late season, early playoffs before he's truly a starter, but probably year 2.
Yeah.
That's not a draft pick you make when you have a veteran quarterback and you're wanting to, go chase another championship after being in the championship game a year before. So that was deflating. That was frustrating. It makes me concerned that we'll wake up tomorrow to hearing, Goots listen to all offers on Aaron Rodgers or something crazy like that. But who knows, right? I mean, maybe it was all for show. Maybe it was all to get people like me actually interested in watching the draft start to finish. And hopefully that's what it is. But I'm sure Aaron Rodgers, last year after the draft, he was, at a 4-finger mark on his glass. This year, I'm not even sure he got out of glass.
Yeah.
Kind of here, did any draft pick stand out, either good or bad to you? Anything tonight? This is really interesting.
I mean, no, not necessarily. That's the thing, is that, there wasn't, any shocking pick. A few guys that you're kind of questioning, are they first-round talent? Maybe, probably not, but, could definitely turn into something. I can't give you a specific name right now off the top of my head, but I remember most of the guys that went first round, several guys that went a little bit later, Mac Jones was sitting there and in his chair for 14 rounds, just sitting there waiting. And once he finally got picked, he was the man on a mission walking to that stage. So I don't know, but still he went to the Patriots, which was where he was ready to go anyway. And so I don't know. That'll be interesting to see between Mac Jones and Cam Newton how that goes out, because Cam Newton was an Auburn guy and Mac Jones is a Alabama guy, so that'll be fun. A little bit of a SEC rivalry there in New England going on to see who gets the starting spot. But I don't know. Nothing's too shocking. Nothing really is just oh, whoa, I can't believe that, except really the one thing really being just the news surrounding today. Even the joke about Tebow trying out for Jacksonville.
I don't think that's a joke.
No, well, it's not a joke. It's just seriously, Tim Tebow finally deciding he won't be a quarterback anymore. And if he would have done this, 7 or 8 years ago, he would probably still be in the NFL or would have retired maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think for me, the two that stand out is one, what does Atlanta actually do with Pitts? I mean, that could go one of two ways. You either begin to work your offense around him,
Yeah.
who's a Darren Waller type of receiver, tight end, hybrid player.
The athleticism for sure.
Or you get some stubborn hard heads at head coach and offensive coordinator and says, I've been doing this for decades. You're playing this. And you get him out there lining up like a traditional tight end and completely wasting who he is as a player.
Right.
And I don't hope that for him, but I think that's a realistic possibility. So that to me is an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
And to take a tight end in the top 5. I don't know the last time that's really happened.
This is the first time in the modern era.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, I couldn't remember one.
Yeah, no, I saw they put up a graphic, and I think it was either Rappaport or Schefter put out that tweet that said it's the first time since in the modern era tight end's gone top 5.
Yeah. And then the other one that's interesting to me is kind of with you, Mac Jones out to New England. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens with a new quarterback, because I feel like Cam Newton come in the year after Tom Brady. I didn't have high hopes. They performed about middle of the pack. That's what I expected. And it'll be interesting to see, this is the first ever first-round quarterback pick for the New England Patriots since before Tom Brady.
Yeah.
It's been well over 2 decades since they picked a quarterback in the first round.
That's insane. It's weird to think
and they
about.
didn't even take Brady in the first round, right? His age-old story of a 6th-round pick, blah, blah, blah. Guess what?
Right.
You get drafted in the NFL, you're not really an underdog, right?
Right. That means you have talent.
And not that it's not a cool story. 6th-round pick ends up being one of the most prolific quarterbacks of all time. Cool.
Right.
That doesn't make you an underdog. You're still a drafted quarterback into the NFL.
Yeah, for sure.
You're one of very few people who get to do that on a yearly basis.
Right, and is still doing it. Been in the league for 20 plus years now.
Yeah, I think I'll probably retire from my job before he does his. I mean, at this rate, I still got 30 years left or more, and
right.
I bet I still retire first.
Yeah, he'll be out there with his walker and like a surgically new legs and new arms. That way, the way he's going, away he gets sacked, something's gonna break, and they're just gonna give him like a brand new metal one or something.
Yeah, he'll be the $1 million man in the NFL. But kind of on that note of digressing, I think this is a good place for us to end and maybe actually hit our goal of having an episode people can listen to on their way to work.
Oh yeah, that was the goal.
That was the goal. Yeah,
so.
Yeah. This is about a good average commute time. So that's kind of our initial reactions to the draft. There are 6 more rounds this weekend. So There might be a little bit to cover on Monday, but we'll also be starting a new series Monday, dealing with players' numbers and who our favorites were to wear each number.
Yep. So look forward to that, guys. We will see y'all soon.
All right. Pew, 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 pew.